Attention gamers. When it comes to being a League of Legends player, it's wild to think that you can generate millions of views, tons and tons of watch time, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and literally dozens of dollars of revenue simply by complaining about ADCs. But I've recently taken a hiatus from being a right-clicking crybaby by trying other games and experiencing what it's like to not get angry at a video game. But all good things must come to an end, so I came back to League curious of how the role is performing since I've been gone, and it looks like the general consensus of streamers is this.
Marksman's so pissed.
AD carry is the single worst role in solo queue you can ever play in your life. It's absolute nightmare scenario territory.
It's been the weakest role for the last half year.
The role is dog shit.
100% correct.
Is your support a human? Check number 1. If there's no, then you've already lost.
They're so bad.
I've been saying it. They kept buffing support and nerfing ADC.
I can go 5-0 in my lane, and my top jungle's losing or my mid jungle's useless, and it doesn't matter. I get 4-man dove, 5-man dove.
The ADC is so bad, right?
Do they have fucking TF or Nocturne or Shen or some dog shit like that? Yes or no? If yes, then it doesn't matter if you win lane and you have 4-man dove.
The role is actually shit.
I mean, I'm 5-0, I'm out of lane, life's good.
They leveled down.
Oh, they have a Rengar. Oh, they have a Talon. Oh, they have a Zed with 2 lethality items. Dead.
And now, we basically, support is the new ADC.
ADCs gets one-shot by every single role.
Dead. Dead. Dead.
There's no reason for you, as an ADC player in solo queue, to play ever ADC when you can queue up support, play Senna support, and just be basically an ADC, but better.
Yep.
As AD carry, you're the one that gets absolutely shafted when everything goes wrong or anything goes wrong.
True.
It's disturbing.
True.
Let's go look at LCS from yesterday. Game 1. Senna, Nautilus bot. Game 2, this is the same shit. Basically, they pick Senna support. Okay, game 3, same thing. Senna wins. Game 4 of yesterday, Senna Tom Kent, Senna wins.
It's a horrible, horrific role to play.
Now this was going to be the perfect part in the video for a sponsored segment, but it got tied up in negotiations for some reason, and now I'm bummed because I had the easiest sell ever for you guys. First, this company's app was going to agree with all the streamers that Senna was the best ADC pick, and then I was going to blatantly ignore all of its pre-game tips and champ recommendations and go with the most stereotypical ADC instead. I was going to use its loading screen scouting, hoping that Thresh's resume would mean this.
It's fun to play if you get sub gap.
But notice it just said he loved Thresh, not that he was good at him. And unfortunately, I could already tell how this was going to go.
Is your support a human? Check number 1. If there's no, then you've already lost.
So with the sup gap meaning famine over feast, it looks like I was gonna snuggle nuts to butts with my own tower all game. But I was going to defy the odds as I started 2-0. I was going to smurf in a game and sandbag a company into paying me $1 million by saying when their app scouted our top laner as a one trick, the predictions were correct. But the ADC reality was still sinking in.
I can go 5-0 in my lane, and my top jungle's losing or my mid jungle's useless, and it doesn't matter. I get 4-man dove, 5-man dove.
My Thresh continued to be about as useful as an ashtray on a motorcycle, and I was now following into the trap of trying to play around his piss-poor game plans. But I survived laning phase and was feeling good. Their top got shafted by our Teemo, so he won't be a threat.
I'm out of lane, life's good.
They leveled down.
Oh. Dead. Dead. Dead.
I'm now the one getting flamed by someone who is doubting my identity, who better be careful or he'll end up in a video, a sponsored segment at that, as Professor randomly said he was a good objective stealer and well. But I couldn't make this an ad because I wasn't doing good enough myself. But despite me having just an absolute blast of a time myself, the OTP Teemo hard carried, and all that was left to do was for me to be that stereotypical loser who typed ADC diff after getting shafted all game before totally ignoring all the helpful statistics that Professor provides in an endgame report so that you can get better each game. And hey, you can use my link below to try their app for free today so that you can access all these dank tools, tips, scouting reports, in-game helpers, and quality of life goodness that Professor supplies. Oh hey, welcome back to all the people who heard the word sponsor and then skipped the whole portion of the video that is hard content because they are conditioned to be a bitch, and let's get into what I did next. Which was to just start playing Senna, because rather than paving my own path I just follow what I hear online.
That it's better to just lock in Senna and not farm a single creep.
And sure enough, the first game we aren't even against a real ADC, because a card dealing fedora wearing fuckface is apparently better than the natives in this role right now, but luckily this brand was greedier than the marketing strategy behind Pokemon's cookies, so he gets sent back to Hustlers University to learn greed correctly and we get first blood. 1 edited out death later and I'm just YOLOing life really. I could give two shits about my farm and whoever my bind bride hits I'm just jamming my keyboard at and hoping the zombie hands get a good grip around something. The enemy is treating this trade like a tag team match where they are taking turns holding my dick until Debonair Destrodouche forgets that it should have been TF's turn. I want to go back to base, but he's eager to waste a 3-minute cooldown just to guess my card, but a morgue condom protects me from contracting any life-threatening consequences from my piss-poor pathing. But here is the thing, I know Cosmic Beedrill is on the way down, so I bait these kids like jizzing dicks so they stick around long enough to make a few donations to the Make a Fed Ravs Jungler Foundation. Side benefit from not playing ADC correctly: you get all kinds of vision related perks that I've been told are good when you want to climb in this torture simulation of a game, and you may be thinking, nah, I'll bet an Al Pastor chicken double meat chipotle burrito on the fact that these support items will make you do terrible damage, and to that I'd like to direct your attention to Exhibit GFB, better known as Get Fucked brand. And then the lack of a typical useless ADC that flops over like a wet unattended pool noodle in a wind tunnel has this TF ulting in just about the dumbest way I've ever personally experienced, so he needs to be punished as well. I decide to take my talent to the mid beach because I just know it's around that time in the game where one of my teammates will be trying his best to throw our lead, but Hail Mary Rav on the ults keeps the boosted bug alive, and then I rush to the site of the attempted homicide to abuse the cauterized prom king. We chase downstream and thanks to my vision we can see their Kane planning something -0 IQ, which turns out as expected. This leaves just their attack damage card carrier, and considering I move way faster than him there's only one way this can end. My job now is to have him guess what my card was, and then because I'm socially awkward have my support tell him that yellow was wrong and he should die for that mistake before the mid lane minions put on a colorful light show, and we inform Kale that her use of teleport there was a laughable offense. And ultimately, if she thinks wrapping herself in Zeus piss will somehow make her win a 1v5, she should consider being a level 16 next time. Anyways, we are now just foraging through enemy territory looking for bitch berries, and seeing as my shields are prompting enemy squeals, the game is getting a bit out of hand for these shitters. Their Kanye is not exactly your modern day Kurasmai, so anytime I get a hold of him with my 900 attack range he melts like a slice of pepperjack in an exhaust pipe. Then, because I have successfully scanned the area for a Wi-Fi signal, I tweet out that we should 200 IQ bait a bitch into a trap, but my jungler would rather show the world that he's about as sharp as a marble, and while it initially is looking like he made the right call, it's only a matter of time before he proves he is the product of some porno shoot incest. Orin is enjoying the amenities of dealing with people who believe their roles should be doing damage to top laners at this point in the game, and seeing as there's no pressure to right-click carry the late game or a target on my one-shottable back, I can kind of just exist in the fights and benefit like any challenger Lulu main is used to. Kale may rhyme with scale, but little does she know Senna is a natural laxative, so she shits herself in my presence. And then back to benefit number 69 of playing Senna support, this TF ults into a warded bush and learns the hard way that his monitor is literally tired of displaying the results of his ineptitude. So with that, my first experience of beating the system by removing the ADC role from my team nets me 30 LP. The second game had the same outcome, where I literally just Nami mained the bitch and won a game from doing nothing and ranked up without actually having to be good at this game. Come to think of it, the only time this wasn't an absolute stomp was when the enemy team also decided to say fuck having an ADC because they're just baggage, and let me tell you, that wasn't fun for me. But the last game was the perfect example because it was against your standard vanilla plain Jane meta following ADC right-clicking pick, and to no one's surprise she lived a poverty-stricken early life forced to cling onto her tower at risk of famishing to natural causes like a weak bitch just hoping for better days to come. Her support stuck around with naive hopes that the system is designed to protect them and they have nothing to be afraid
We
of.
have 4-man dove again and it is fucking lost.
I got a glimpse of a horny haybag planning a surprise party for us, so I pinged my support off, but let this be an example to all of you in a duo lane. You can explain danger to your support but you can't understand it for them, so she walks up like a deer in the headlights and gets a bunch of crows trying to crowd surf her off the little floating stage as I use this opportunity to teach Jinx a life lesson that I wish Riot Freak would have taught me instead of getting defensive and saying he gave ADCs a shield bow to fix all these problems and that this is a fun experience, whereas I'm over here free as a released fart playing target practice alongside moaning ice cubes and doing everything I can to prove that you don't need skill to climb playing this. That said, even 2v2s were still pretty close encounters. And the thing about playing an ADC here is you try to follow your team to an objective that they will flame you for not attending, but then when it starts raining they all pulled out their umbrellas and you are just standing there with your freshly baked macaron melting away, getting ground grabbed with hostile versions of Ariana Grande singing pink songs violently at you and some chick carrying a 1,600-pound gun killing you on repeat, and all you want to do is play World of Warcraft. They think they are protected by their tower, but I know these undernourished gremlins couldn't even tickle me if they had the world's largest feather, and I took my shoes off so the statue falls and I tell Sona 2.0 to start singing, which works like a charm, and we secure another kill. Team fights are now starting, and because I don't have a care in the world about being in a lane to pick up XP or make up in the farm I was denied all early game, I can just participate in everything. Sure, I don't know the optimal way to play my champ, but just like a challenger Janna one trick, it doesn't matter as long as I'm with the boys and pushing random combinations of buttons, and so to absolutely no one's surprise the enemy team is waving the white flag and typing paragraphs about how their ADC should be reported. And I think the resounding takeaway to this video essay is that Riot is trying to remove the ADC role because at the end of the day,
It's a horrible, horrific role to play.
Rav out.